Hi and welcome back. For today's project I am using 20 gauge silver plated round wire, and I have cut this at about 11 inches. I'm using a key and one of my 4mm wish jump rings. Now these are optional. You don't have to have these. I have round nose pliers, a couple of chain nose, a wire cutter, and a Sharpie, and something to measure with. Okay, so I'm going to begin by measuring my wire to about 4 3/8. I know it's kind of not in the center of the camera here, but this is the way I need to do it. And I'm really math challenged, so if you can come up with better measurements, I don't normally measure. So here we are. Let's fold this over. Now let's take this fold, and what we're going to do is we're going to bend this long wire like we do for the other ear cuffs, and I am going to grasp that long wire at approximately 1 1/4 inches. Again, nothing is specific here. This is just me coming up with some kind of measurement for you. You probably could do it better yourself. So here we have the beginning of our ear cuff. You have to forgive my hands and my nails. Everything is all stained and nasty. I was working with alcohol inks for another project that we're going to do. Okay, we don't have to measure anything anymore, thank goodness. I'm going to use my Sharpie today instead of my wooden paintbrush handle I usually use. Now I'm just going to place this onto my Sharpie and bend it around the Sharpie. Okay, now hold everything right here in the center and pull these wires up. So this is what we have at this point. Okay. Alright, let's place our ear cuff back on our marker. And we're just going to make a little wire rose here. So I'm going to pull my wires kind of closer together. And you need to decide where you want your rose to be. I don't want mine to be completely centered. But I'm going to go ahead and twist these two wires and then inspect where my rose is going to be. Yes, I think that's fine. Now I'm going to bring this wire up under. And at this point, I am just going to twist these two wires together. And there's no specific way. It's just a little wire rose. Now, here, hold everything tight. Mine tends to go flying across the room, but I'm going to try to avoid that today. So we're just going to wrap this rose, just like any other wire rose. Only we're just trying to keep it on top of something. I don't always do very well, but so far so good. It hasn't ran away yet. Now, you're going to just do this until the rose is the size that you want. Okay? And I think that's okay for me. And I like where it's sitting. So now, I'm going to separate out my wires. I'm going to bring one right around to the top, if we're going to call that the top. And then the other one I'm going to leave in this area. Now, let's trim off this shorter wire. Watch your eyes. And using our round nose plier, let's just go ahead and coil this right to the back of our rose and get it to very inside of this rose so that no one gets cut on the sharp edge. There we are. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this side, only I'm going to make sure that it's kind of loose down here. You can actually make a ring down here if you want to. It's so hit and miss for me that I just make it loose at the rose. And I'm going to trim this one and just coil it up under, just like before. And you know, you could stop here. Your rose is done. You have a little ear cuff, but I would like to put my little key on it. So here we are. But before I do that, I'm going to get some adjustments done. Now, you know, you're thinking, gosh, that's kind of silly. It's like way over on one side. And you don't have to do yours like that. I'm going to go ahead and bend these ends down a little. Just a little in there. And then I'm going to go on top of this rose and squish it. See how everything is looking? Okay. Now, let's get our jump ring. Our teeny tiny little 4mm jump ring. And let's open this thing up. And I'm going to place the key on. I'm not bothered about which direction my key goes, but if you are, please make sure it's going the direction that you want it to. And this is a little tricky. There we go. Not so bad. And if that causes our wire to get untucked, then we'll just fix that. It's no problem. Let's go ahead and close up our jump ring. There we are. Now let's get an ear. And put it on. And squeeze it. And there we go. Now, if I had to put this right in the center, then my rose would be down here. And if that's what you want, that's fine. I like it like this. Now, let's look at the other rose. The one where we didn't do a charm. It's just as pretty and delicate. It's also very off-center. And what I'm doing is the little smaller piece of that cuff is going inside the ear. So there it is without the charm. And with the charm. Why am I working so far out of camera? But there you go. A sweet little delicate rose ear cuff. Thank you so much for watching.